after the short seller report came out last week, the CEO of Nikola said, "Oh, I'm calling the SEC." But according to your reporting, the SEC isn't so much investigating Hindenburg so much as the allegations put forth by Hindenburg.
Yeah, so according to sources, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is basically looking at Nikola and assessing the merits of the allegations that were made by the short seller. Effectively, the allegations, as you'll remember, is that Nikola deceived investors about its technology, about its business prospects. And basically what the SEC is looking at, according to sources, is Hindenburg's claims that, which may determine on the validity of those claims whether Nikola may or may not have violated securities law. And it's important to say at this stage, Joe, obviously, that any regulator's review is preliminary and may not lead to allegations of any wrongdoing.
And I am curious here. In Nikola's sort of rebuttal, they talked about this idea that Hindenburg took a comment by one of its suppliers out of context. That's according to Nikola. But there's also the involvement here of GM and the general assumption that a company like GM wouldn't have sort of gotten involved with Nikola had it not done its due diligence on these projects.
Yeah, I think Mary Barra's been speaking today as well at an industry conference saying that the company did do its due diligence. And as a rule, I think what we've seen over the last few days is these key partners for Nikola, including General Motors, Iveco, which of course is the semi-truck arm of CNH Industrial, a big Italian firm, and Bosch basically all come out in support of Nikola, saying that they believe in the partnerships, they believe in the technology, they believe in the vision that Nikola's trying to set out. And that is something that the company has pushed back on heavily. The CFO was speaking at a conference today, basically talking about how ridiculous it was that his partners, these big names in industry and automotive, had somehow been hoodwinked by Nikola. He said, of course, that just isn't the case. These are multinationals. These are companies with great experience in heavy industry. And the CFO today, when he was speaking, was sort of very dismissive of this. And, when it comes to Nikola's rebuttal, I guess it wasn't so much a rebuttal point by point that we got this morning. It was basically more counter arguments that Nikola was making. But Nikola's main point is that the allegations by Hindenburg, the short seller, it believes are false and misleading, and that the main motivation of Hindenburg was to manipulate the market for profit, and that's what we're hearing consistently from Nikola today.
Yeah, making profit from a manufactured decline is what they attempt. Well, it seems as though the founder has been making some bets on his own beaten-up stock, because Trevor Milton himself purchased shares today, says an SEC filing, some $1.3 million. What's the next step from here? Are we expecting them once again to speak out, Nikola, some more?
I think that they probably said their piece for now. The messaging from executives, and there has been engagement over this, is that they're now focused on executing. If you read across Wall Street, actually, analysts this morning were largely positive, because regardless of Nikola's past, what they've managed to do is position themselves with strong partners. There is a question over what actually their IP is, right? What technology they're actually providing to any relationship or any project. But at the end of the day, they have clearly stated goals for production on a battery electric semi-truck, a hydrogen fuel cell semi-truck, and this pickup truck that it's going to build with General Motors, the Badger. They also have their ambitions for the hydrogen network. And analysts say as long as they can execute and leverage successfully those partnerships, then there is optimism and there should be potential upside in the stock as long as they're able to execute. And that's what the company says it's focused on.